So there's also something else that you can do. So keeping your forces all the way up, you can actually fine-tune those dead zones on your game as well. So I'm going to be using Assetto Corsa as an example now, and we're going to go through some adjustments that you can make in-game that are actually quite useful and that prevent you from actually going onto the on our software to make changes. So you can just get those changes on in-game, which makes it a lot easier, a lot more practical. You don't have to be shutting off the game and loading the game back up again for those changes. We're in game now, and most racing games, if not all of them, allow you to do all these things. So I'm using Assetto Corsa as an example, but it's something that is replicable in other games. So let's say on the throttle, let's say there is a little bit of a dead zone here in the beginning where your car is blipping the throttle on its own. You can actually go over here and create a dead zone. So let's say the dead zone is all the way here. Until my foot is here, no throttle input is happening whatsoever. So for the throttle, we advise you don't use a lot of dead zone, especially at the beginning of the travel. But at the end, you might be very interested in having that dead zone, because let's say you actually have to press the pedal very hard to apply 100% of force. And what you can do is you just go slightly back, which means that even if you're not quite at the end of the travel, you're already applying 100% of the throttle, which is really important if you're in a race and you really want to be full throttle, especially because cars are generally speaking very similar. So if you're not using full throttle, you're losing races most certainly. On brakes, this is where it's most important. So you might not want your brakes to blip if you're just resting your foot over your brake, for example, which happens quite a lot, where drivers are driving with both pedals, so only two pedals, throttle and brake, and their left foot is resting on the brake pedal. And in this instance, I've actually calibrated it very well already, but you could add a little bit of a dead zone here, so that doesn't slow you down on the straights. And very important as well, perhaps the most important one on this exercise here, is for the 100% to be where you want it. So, in races, only you know what pressure you want. So you can close your eyes, imagine you're in a race and try and understand how much you brake. And you can look at the menu over there, and if that's how much you're braking, you can simply slide to where you want it, and there it is. So now you know exactly where maximum braking is. So again, no need to go to our website and change it. You can always do it here in game and save your profiles down here. For the clutch, it's the same thing. So right now we're using the clutch all the way to the 100% mark and all the way back. And let's say you wanted to engage at, let's say, 70% throttle or 65% throttle. So here it would be engaged, and then by 30% it would be disengaged. So this means that once you're shifting, the shifting happens somewhere in the middle of the travel of the clutch, which is a lot more natural than disengaging or engaging fully linear throughout the whole movement or the travel of the clutch. And yes, so these are ways you can fine-tune your pedal inputs in game. And then once you go on track, there's also something else you can do, which is actually get the pedal inputs. So iRacing would have this, Assetto Corsa has this. You can actually see what the pedals are doing. And this is very useful, especially when you're getting used to a new set of pedals. You can see exactly what is happening, what your physical inputs are representing in the simulator. And again, here, look at the clutch. It just started engaging midway, and now it's all the way, and I'm still using a lot of travel. So now it will disengage right now. This is the bite point. And it's fully engaged now, and I'm still moving my foot. So again, this is how you get those shifts that aren't jerky and jumping all over the place. And yes, so now would be ready to race and turn a couple of laps and do that magical trail braking.